Alrighty guys, good morning. So we're back at the lake again. It's another solo trip. I was gonna come on with my buddy Leo, but he had to work on his car this morning to get it fixed, and either way I had to come work on my boat. So got some good news. Stay tuned and I'll give you a quick update of what's going on with the boat, but so far it looks good. So be right back. Yeah, I just lit my cigar. This guy hit on the planer board. Damn it, I think I'm getting double. My back one just started hit too. Oh, that looks like good dinner. Ooh, it's a nice one. That's a nice blue, guys. Heck yeah. Oh shit, got another one over there. Look at that. You know, these blues don't put up a fight, but they are heavy though. Feel like you're pulling up a log. Sure, I can go home now. Dang, guys. You're cool. Two quality blues. Dang, that's nice. Whew. All right, let me get cleaned up here real quick. Whew. All right, guys. Well, like I said, I just wanted some dinner. I think I was in that drift for maybe like 10 minutes. And if you talked to, or not talked, if you watched my last video, I kind of talked when I drift. I like to target like humps in the water. That was on the bottom side coming off of a hump. And we got those two nice blues. Man, feels real good to catch them on a drift. I don't do drift fishing very much anymore. You guys clearly know that if you watch my videos. You know, most of my clients, they like to just go fishing for redfish. And then in the summer, if I get free time, you know, I try and go for redfish also. But I really, really like drift fishing for catfish. I don't know what it is about it, but I just absolutely love it. I love the fight. I mean, it's not much of a fight, not like a red. A red's gonna be like taking line, but these two guys, they took line, but they're not like runners like reds. But if you ever caught, you know, big blues, like even, you know, the 5-6 pounders, they just feel like logs. And once you get these big ones, so I weighed them. The big one was 13.5 and the other one was 11 pounds. Man, they just feel like heavy logs coming out through the water. Oh, super excited about that. I'm not even a quarter of the way through my cigar yet. But I've already picked up my lines. I only have 2 lines out now. I've got one with a planer board, and I got one straight in the bottom. That back rod I already picked up, and I already put my other 3 rods. I was actually only fishing with 4 rods, so 2 rods were already stowed away. So I'm only gonna keep 2 out there. If I get another fish, great. If not, you know, no big deal. I've got enough for dinner. Probably gonna take them home, and we're probably gonna do blackened catfish. So we've been doing blackened redfish here recently. We've done blackened shark like a week ago that we got from the coast when we went down in June with Deep Sea Headquarters. And then we're gonna do 1 fish for sure, blackened. That's gonna be enough to feed shit, I don't know, like 5 people. The other one we'll probably save. We'll probably do we'll probably fry them up maybe next week or the week after. But man, whew, love it. Felt great. So yeah, we're gonna try and finish off this drift. Like I said, just want to finish my cigar, and then we're gonna call it a day. And before we head in though, I'm probably gonna cruise around the lake. I'm gonna do like 2 real long runs. Just make sure there's no issues with the engine. I don't foresee there being any issues, but I just want to make sure. Whew. Yeah, stay tuned. See if we get another one. Alright guys, so we're still drifting. I'm almost halfway to my cigar. But I know it's gonna get asked, it gets asked a lot. What bait am I using for my catfishing when I drift fish? And guys, honestly, all I use majority of the time, if I can get some cut carp, I'll use cut carp also. You can use cut shad, you can use cut bluegill, perch, you know. But usually, most of the time, I'm just using cut chicken breast. I go to the grocery store, they sell it in a big pack, it's like 10 bucks. That pack will last me. I just freeze it. I cut it all up first, put it in a Tupperware, bring it out, and when I go home, I freeze it. The night before, I thaw it, and I freeze it, and I thaw it. That pack will last me, you know, 6, 7 trips maybe. And I don't add anything to it. A lot of people ask, do I do like garlic salt or Kool-Aid or any other stuff in there? And honestly, I don't. I just open the package straight out of the package. Now usually, I mean, after a time when you thaw it and freeze it, it starts to smell after a while. And usually once I get real low, I'll buy a new package and I'll throw the old stuff on top of the new stuff, and I think that kind of helps. But what I'm fishing with today, this is a brand new package I just bought on my last trip that came out a couple days ago. So it's definitely still fairly fresh. Nothing added to it, guys. And so it's just cut chicken breast. And like I said, right now we have no wind, so we're having to do like a power drift, which sometimes I think helps out better because you can then control or you can target the areas that you want to fish. Whereas if you have the wind, you have to, it's pretty much play a guessing game. You got to figure out where the wind's blowing at, you know, what hump do you want to target. So you got to start on the top of that hump, go over it. And you can track your course, especially if you have a fish finder that you can do a tracking with your mapping. If you get on a path and you catch some fish or get a couple bites, you can always go back to the top of that route. And so long, and that's a big thing, so long as the wind hasn't changed, it will take you right back over that path. But there are several times, you know, I've been out here where we start on one drift and the wind changes just a little bit in a direction, and if I try and target that same course, I have to try and recalculate, because if I don't, it takes me on a different path. But when we're power drifting with the trolling motor, what I do like using is I'll usually have 2 lines straight out the back of the boat, and then I got 2 lines that we use. These things are called planer boards. So this one's actually from Yellowbird. You can get it, I think, on Amazon. And what these guys do is there's a right and a left side, so a port and a starboard, and they're color coded for the sides. One's red yellowing, red lettering, one's green yellowing. And what they do is they push your lines away from the boat, and they will go out as much line as you let out. They'll go further and further away from the boat. And I think it just kind of helps out. It just kind of helps get you a pretty good spread of your line, so they're not just all, you know, bunched together. It doesn't work when I'm drifting with the wind. I've tried it, not very reliable. So I usually only use these when I'm power drifting. So today worked out. The first fish, the big one, actually no, the smaller one, the 11-pounder, hit on the one planer board, and then the other fish hit the one that was just straight back. But yeah, pretty interesting technique. Again, especially when you have these days when there's no wind. So don't be discouraged if you come out here and you think there's no wind and you can't do a drift. You still can. Just got to have a trolling motor. And if you don't have a trolling motor, you can do controlled drifts with your engine. You basically have to like just put into gear just to get a little push and put it out of gear. Just get your boat moving again under 1 mile per hour. Starts to go a little bit too slow, put it back into gear, take it back out of gear. And you can keep doing that over and over again. It's more annoying, but it can be done. I used to do that on my very first boat I had, my aluminum boat. And if you don't have an iPilot, so I have an iPilot trolling motor. That thing's great because you can actually point it in a specific direction and lock it. so that even if, say, a boat comes with a wake or whatever and pushes you, it'll keep you on your line. So if you don't have an iPilot, you can still use the trolling motor, but same thing. I need to mute that. Same thing, you're just gonna have to control the trolling motor with your remote, or if it's a foot pedal, you gotta just control it where you're going, but you can still drift that way. So yeah, I got a little more to go on my cigar. And I said I got more work to do when I get home. So yeah, stay tuned. Alrighty guys, so like I said, it's gonna be a short trip. And I'm gonna have two videos. One just where I'm just talking about, you know, the issue with the engine and what I hopefully finally did to fix it. I ran the engine, man, I went all the way across the lake, and man, I had no issues whatsoever. So I really do hope that was my last problem to solve. But yeah, so we also, well, not we, I decided to do a quick drift. Like I said, about 10 minutes into my drift, got a nice double 13 pounder, 13 and a half and 11 pounder, so that's gonna be dinner. So as always guys, enjoy the video. Appreciate you all watching. Forgot the name of the guy that saw me at Total Wine yesterday that recognized me when I had to check your ID. Thanks for giving me a shout out at the store. Appreciate that. But as always guys, y'all have a good day. Thanks for watching.